We are a nation of yo-yo dieters.
Since I was 8 up until I was 20, I've been on a constant diet.
It's not unusual for us to lose 10 stone in a decade. Trouble is, what comes off goes back on. Time and time again.
I lost a stone and gained 2.
We just want to be thin.
If I get on a bus, I don't want to be the fat person that people don't want to sit next to.
And we'll try anything to make that dream come true.
The maddest diet I ever did was you could eat anything you want as long as it was coloured red.
I took diuretics, I've got the slimming pills, you name it, I've done it.
Orange and peanut, yeah. I think that was one of the most wackiest ones I've ever done.
But for most of us, sticking to that diet just ain't that easy.
I've had photos put on fridges to stop me opening the fridge.
So, can one of our best-known yo-yo dieters break the cycle?
Your reckon's a bit short. I'm not gonna lie, it is nice to be able to see your vagina.
Josie Gibson has fought tooth and nail to get thin.
Lasted a couple of weeks on them until I started finding spaghetti bolognese in my knickers.
But the thought of getting fat again is driving her crazy.
I was deep in depression and I had suicidal thoughts.
It's not that we can't lose weight. It's just that we can't help putting it all back on again. After all that effort to lose weight, why can't we stay slim once we get slim? Serial yo-yo dieter Claudia Connell has spent nearly 2 decades going up and down through 6 dress sizes. She'd been a tiny size 8 till she hit 30, then, through a series of ups and downs, put on 4 stone in the following 8 years. She then dropped to her lightest ever, under 8 stone, before gradually going up again over the next 7 years to her biggest yet, a size 18.
The real reason that I yo-yo is that I lack willpower. But I think I also allow myself to yo-yo because I know that when I want to, I'm good at dieting. And I can, if I set myself a goal, I know that I can do that.
Claudia's confident she can hit her goal weight when she wants to. But she has another reason for letting herself yo-yo.
It's very easy to get addicted to the cycle of sort of losing weight and regaining weight. And also once you get big and then you start to lose weight and the weight comes off, people notice. And going shopping for the first time after you've lost weight and just getting into a size 12 or a size 14 is you get a real feeling of euphoria. And I do think that can be very addictive. If you're always thin, you never get that because you're used to being thin. There's no sort of there's no excitement in zipping up a pair of size 10s for the first time.
You're not wrong there. Who doesn't enjoy the buzz of getting slim? But Claudia also has to accept the come down as her size creeps back up.
When I saw these photographs, I was like, oh my God, I wanted to cry. They're just the worst photographs I think I've ever seen of myself. I know that I'm big at the moment, but I didn't realise that I was this big. And when I saw these, I thought, oh my God, I look horrendous. I just look, morbidly obese. They're horrible.
It's taken a massive 17 stone weight loss across 10 years and umpteen diets for Claudia to get this big.
I don't want to be a big fat bird, which is what I feel like at the moment. If I get on a bus or I get on a tube, I don't want to be the fat person that people don't want to sit next to because they think I'm going to take up half of their seat. And I used to think that way about fat people myself, so serves me right.
In her endless drive to avoid being a fat bird, Claudia has been there, done that, with every diet in town.
I've done the Scarsdale one, that's where you lose stone in 2 weeks, although I didn't. I've done the cabbage soup diet, I've done the grapefruit diet.
And if all those diets aren't bad enough, how about this little beauty?
The maddest diet I ever did was a red foods diet. You could eat anything you want as long as it was coloured red. So I just ended up eating like red fruit gums and red wine gums.
Doesn't sound mad at all, Claudia. After all her past dalliances with diets, Claudia's going old school, counting calories. And she knows how to stop herself cheating.
I write down everything that I eat now, and if I don't know the calorie count, which I usually do, but if I don't, I instantly Google it, and then I cross-reference it to make sure that I'm not taking it from just one source.
Is that obsessive?
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely obsessive. Yeah, I only had 700 calories yesterday, which is it's not very good. It's not very healthy. But so yes, I'm having as few as I can. Just if I have 500 calories and I feel all right, then I'm not going to make myself eat just to get the calorie count up. So I'm trying to keep it to under 1,000.
She's been doing well, but there is one chink in Claudia's dieting armour.
If ever I'm going to fall off the wagon, if ever I'm going to be tempted, it's going to be in a restaurant. Hi! Hi, Hello!
And today, bravely, Claudia is going into battle against every dieter's biggest enemy, the restaurant menu.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to not have many carbs at the moment, so not pasta. Got risotto there, don't really want that.
No. Steak?
That comes with chips. So I'd eat the chips if they were there.
Duck fat chips.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to have bread. I'm going to have bread. I don't care. I'm having bread.
You have it.
I am.
I'll snip it. Oh, it smells nice.
Which side are you on, love?
Oh, is it warm? Oh, warm bread. If I had that, I'd then think, oh, well, I might as well have chips, and then I might as well have cake, and I might as well have ice cream, and then, stop talking.
Someone said to me once, imagine it's been rolling around in a hairdresser's floor and amongst all the hair, and then you won't eat it.
Have you ever got something out of the bin?
Yes, I would say.
I've had like maybe a bag of Doritos, and I've thought, I've got to stop eating those, I'm just going to throw them away. And I've thrown them away, and maybe even the next day, I'd think,
They're still there.
Have the bin? No, and I've gone through the bin to get them.
Is the bin still in your house?
Mm.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, no, all right.
Outside.
No, the wheelie bin, that would be too far. Chasing after the lorry.
There's Doritos in there.
Well done. It's not been easy, but Claudia has survived to diet another day.
See you, bye.
But every now and again, temptation still gets the better of her.
This is where I went to a family picnic. So I had one barbecue chicken drumstick, a slice of red pepper and feta cheese quiche, 2 sausage baps, an entire tube of salt and vinegar Pringles with various dips, 6 slices of chorizo, 4 profiteroles, 2 helpings of eaten mess. Quite a lot.
How many calories is that?
God knows how many, that's thousands and thousands of calories. I'd rather have 5 days of really depriving myself and then one big blowout than to eat sensibly every single day.
And there's the rub. For Claudia and for all of us. We're all up for a quick fling with the hot new diet in town. We just don't really want to marry them. That would involve a commitment we're just not ready for. And mean giving up our other love, chocolate. Dieting isn't easy. And it isn't any fun. But that doesn't stop 90% of British women dieting at some point in their life. And it doesn't stop lots of us getting stuck in the spin cycle of losing and gaining weight.
How much of your life have you spent on a diet?
So all of this part here is the amount of my life that I've spent dieting.
Gemma Cruikshank's been there and got the Yo-Yo Diet t-shirt many times over at just 23 years old. At 8, her doctor advised that she'd be put on a diet. But by 11, she'd gone up to 18 stone. Throughout her teens, she went down and back up again. By the time she was 21, though, she'd lost 3 stone in 5 months to get back to 18 stone. before heading up again to her heaviest weight of 24 stone 2 years later. Along the way, Gemma has tried all sorts of things to shed the pounds.
The maddest diet I've done would be a cup of soup diet. So you literally have a cup of soup 2 to 3 times a day for each of your meals. And you do lose weight, but you're always hungry. Within 2 weeks, I lost a stone. And then within a month, I lost 2 stone. And then I put it back on again.
Of course, it's the sticking with it that counts. And that is what Gemma struggles with.
I don't know, I'm an emotional eater as well, so obviously if I'm upset about something, I'm gonna eat food. If we're celebrating something, we're gonna eat food. So it's kind of like, you're like, I'll be good for the week, and then you'll splash out at the weekend, but then you're just undoing all the good that you did. So I'd say my whole life I've been like that.
For Gemma, yo-yo dieting is a family affair. Her mum, Denise, is currently a size 20.
Hello. You alright, babes? You alright?
And she's also been a slave to the scales.
I took diuretics, got the slimming pills, you name it, I've done it. You know, is it worth it? No, of course it's not. But at the time, you don't realise. You just think what you're doing is the right thing to do.
Like mother, like daughter was never so true. Gemma has also tried her mum's techniques to lose weight.
I've done literally everything. I've had photos put on fridges to stop me opening the fridge. I've comfort eated, I've secretly ate, thinking that people don't know. Of course they bloody know. I've probably tried everything.
Worried about her own weight and Gemma's, Denise has employed a range of tactics over the years, designed to shrink them both down to size.
Jim, you used to put pictures on the fridge that you thought were disgusting to stop you eating.
Yeah.
To stop you opening the fridge and eating.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I know, it's not,
But it's mental torture.
It
You
is.
was torturing yourself.
I know.
And then you tried doing the same thing to me.
I know.
You put up a picture that I hate to stop me opening the fridge.
Yeah. Everything revolves around
Yeah, but
food.
then obviously, like, what would have been your habit has become my habit.
Yeah.
And so on and so on.
Denise first put Gemma on a weight loss program when she was still in primary school.
This is when I used to pay you to lose weight.
A pound.
A pound. You was quite rich at the time, wasn't you? Oh no, it's not funny really.
You put me through dancing.
Yeah, I made you go dancing.
Made me do exercise. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I had a gym membership when I was 11.
Yeah, we used to go together, didn't we?
Yeah.
I thought what I was doing was
It
right.
wasn't, because you was. I think you kind of made such a big issue out of it.
That it made it an issue.
Yeah, that it made it an
Yeah.
issue. It wasn't that I had a problem with my weight. It was that you had a problem with
your
my weight.
Yeah. It was just, I suppose, my insecurities of having been overweight, and I didn't want her to feel the same. I never felt that good about myself. You know, we've all got our vanity, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? And like, you look at your face and you think, oh yeah, that's all right. And then you look at your ass and you think, maybe not. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
You can always tell a big woman because she'll take a picture of herself from up here because it hides all your chin. And you can't see your ass.
That's where I'm going wrong.
No, it's true though. Everyone looks better from above. Do you know what I mean?
No amount of trick photography will hide the truth though. And we all know that if we want to be picture perfect, we have to move beyond the diet and change our whole lifestyle. But for most of us, it's still a case of once a yo-yo dieter, always a yo-yo dieter. And that is exactly what 28-year-old Josie Gibson is trying to avoid. She is the slimmest she's ever been and loving her glamorous life in the spotlight. But it's a far cry from when she first came to the public's attention. Josie was a Big Brother housemate in 2010 and was hounded by the press for her size. As soon as she left the house, she made her weight a priority and started dieting.
Well, when I started initially losing weight, what I used to do is take pictures of me every week so I could see my body changing. And I think that really helped me. And then I used to go back to the first one and think, God, yeah, I've come a long way, actually.
By the end of the year, she'd dropped 4 stone. But when she broke her ankle in 2012 and started heading back up towards her heaviest, it wasn't just her own attitude to her ballooning figure Josie had to deal with.
When people are abusing you on a daily basis over social networks, even sending you text messages going, go and hang yourself, you beach well. I had text messages on my phone saying that. Then you start, you're not going to love yourself, are you? And if you don't love yourself and you don't appreciate yourself, you're not going to want to look after yourself and put good food in your body. It's not going to be a priority, is it?
Like all of us, the heavier she got, the worse Josie felt about herself.
I was devastated because I'd worked so hard to get to a size 12. So I went into this deep depression. I was stuck in a high-rise flat, couldn't get down with my cast. I know this is bad now and nobody knows this. I was thinking, if I hung myself off there, would it hold my weight?
Oh, God.
That's how bad it was at some points, but no one knows that. But I was so desperate. I was in a real bout of depression, and it's all linked with my weight. It's just, you could drive yourself mental with it.
And what definitely didn't help was putting the weight she'd only just lost back on in a blaze of publicity.
All the abuse and everything that I did receive when I was big, I think is wrong, but I'm a fighter. Even though I was deep in depression and I had suicidal thoughts, I thought, no, I'm not going to let them win. So my whole mind frame had to change before I either died trying, basically.
Josie came out kicking, determined to get slim again. But this wasn't her first battle with her weight. She'd been a fully paid-up member of Team Yo-Yo for years. In fact, she'd been fighting with her weight since the age of 6. By the age of 18, she was 19 stone. In her early 20s, she yo-yoed constantly between 12 and 16 stone. Along the way, Josie's desperation to lose weight led to extreme measures and some extreme results.
I tried these tablets, and what you do is you eat, and what it does is meant to flush all the fat out your body. You just take them, little tablets like that. I think I took 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Lasted a couple of weeks on them until I started finding spaghetti bolognese in my knickers. I think I lost a little bit of weight, but not a lot. Because I still wasn't eating right. I was thinking that I could eat the way I was eating, but I just flush it all out with these, and it doesn't work like that. But that's what I mean, I was so confused, I didn't know what to do. And I was so desperate, so desperate. All over the years, I've gone up and down, up and down, up and down. But the more I went down doing the wrong diets, the more I went up putting the weight back on.
Now, down to her smallest ever at a size 10, Josie is convinced she'll never go back.
I think I've educated myself now, and I train myself not to ever go back to that person. And don't get me wrong, I was a nice person inside, but I hated the way I looked on the outside. I hated it. When I've lost weight before, I've always kept my big clothes, and I felt that I was going to put the weight back on. This is the first time I've actually sold all my big clothes.
Ditching her fat wardrobe is a brave step, but one Josie is sure she is ready for.
Nearly up there with champagne. Nearly.
And she knows how bad things would get if she does allow herself to get big again.
People go, oh, are you going to put the weight on? Or are you going to put the weight back on? To go back to that makes me feel physically sick.
Now Josie's so determined to avoid putting weight back on, she's changing her whole life. Studying to become a personal trainer as a way to make sure she stays slim.
I think I've definitely got to stay in shape if I'm trying to show other people how to do it.
It's also a way she can use her hard-won experience to motivate others who are now where she was before.
On your mark, get set, go! Go on, Jill! 15, 16,
I've always been a yo-yo dieter. When I was 19, I had my teeth wired together because I was 19 and 19 stone. And then I've been on every diet ever since, trying to keep the weight off. And the more encouragement you get from people, or just if you get a bit low and fancy a Mars bar, to be quite honest with you, and it's the support of the group, we're sort of in more or less daily contact. You think you actually might be able to do it this time.
It's a really awful thing to go through, and that's why I like try and do these boot camps for people that are overweight and at the end of their tether, and I try and help people now because I've been there, I know what it's like. I'm guilty myself of it. Like, I'll go for a week without going to the gym and not training, but then I really feel guilty about it, and then the next week I'm back in there like storming myself. I go up and down like everybody else. That was hard work.
Josie knows how hard it is to keep hold of the slim figure she now has and has longed for.
Oh, my legs are aching.
Oh, my bum.
I'll have a beef roast dinner, please, mate.
And me, please. So how's it going at the moment then?
I've been so busy on my personal training course, been locked in a classroom till 8:30 till 5:30, so I haven't managed to get to the gym, and it's affected my mood, actually.
How's that?
Yeah, I've been a bit on edge.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
We get so excited, don't we, when we've got food?
It's not just finding time to work out that Josie is struggling with. She's been risking putting the pounds back on by partying at a summer festival.
If I say when I went to Secret Garden, I was naughty the whole time now. I had like 2 great big lamb wraps, like one for breakfast and one for tea, and then I drank 10 pints, all in one day. If I have a weekend and I go out drinking, I will put on half a stone over the weekend. And everyone's like, that's not even possible, it's not even possible. I'm telling you it is. So if I have a drink, I'm constantly fighting all week to get it back off again.
She knows that for her, the right combination of diet and exercise is key.
What I used to do is think, oh, I've lost loads of weight, now I can go and eat what I want.
Yeah, I've done that as well.
Yeah, but now I don't.
Well.
I don't think like that now. Now I've got a bit of time free, I can get in and exercise again, but really I need to stick to my set times now.
Yeah.
Because if I don't work out, I know that I could be that obese person again.
Do it.
I got a little bit lazy, and like, if you can't take out 45 minutes of your day to exercise, you've got your priorities all wrong, I reckon. If I don't keep up the exercise, the weight does pile on, so I've got to get the exercise right.
Josie knows what she needs to do, but she's finding it hard to make enough time to juggle her day-to-day life and her determination to stay slim now she's got there.
Are you on a dessert?
Should we have a look?
See if anything will tempt you.
We'll have a look,
Okay.
but we might just look.
Okay.
As we struggle to get skinny for Christmas, a holiday or a birthday, most of us live with the eternal hope that our latest diet will be our last. But the reasons we fall off our diets and into bigger than ever clothes are as many and varied as the number of us on diets. Hayley Morris is like many of us. She's spent 3/4 of her life on a diet, and now she's almost the biggest she's ever been. Her battle with her weight started at 15 and 12 stone. She lost weight for her wedding and gained when she had a baby, but the trend was decidedly upwards. And by the age of 32, she hit her heaviest weight, 26.5 stone. Since then, she's been up and down, to end up at 24 stone in 2013. Hayley has lost almost 27 stone across 40-odd years and still ended up over 10 stone heavier. But she hasn't given up on her dream of a thinner, fitter future. At 59, she's starting a new healthy living regime.
I'm just juicing some celery and carrot, which I don't really enjoy at all, but it's very healthy. I can't allow it to touch the sides of my mouth, which is why I use a straw.
Why can't you allow it to touch the side of your...
Because I would just become suicidal, probably. I hate it. Oh. That was absolutely delicious. I can't wait for the same time tomorrow.
And it's not just diet. Hayley's embracing exercise too. But after all these years, why is Hayley still so determined to get thin again? What makes her keep trying?
It makes me feel that I am in control. It makes me less afraid because I'm doing everything I can for my health.
Hayley's health has suffered because of her weight.
The weight brought on the diabetes, and then the diabetes brought on the heart attack, circulation problems, all kinds of problems. As I said, it's a hideous disease, and I'm trying really hard to get that completely under control.
But it's not just health issues that have made Hayley one of life's yo-yo dieters.
In the past, I haven't been able to keep it up because if there was a problem or a change of routine, anything was an excuse to start overeating again.
Turning to food in times of trouble has always been Hayley's downfall, even in childhood.
Eating was the only thing I could control. I was eating sweets all the time, biscuits all the time. I hated being bullied at school because of my weight, but it didn't stop me eating. In fact, it increased that need to comfort eat. And I would say that by the time I was 14 or 15, I had actually developed an addiction to food.
Hayley feels this addiction to food has scuppered every diet she's ever tried, meaning she did what all us struggling dieters do and regret. She cheated.
I would have about 4 or 5 slices of toast at breakfast time and thinking, well, there's no point in starting over now. I've wrecked the day. So then I would have a huge lunch, pasta, more bread, and it would go on like that until I went to bed. I didn't want to do it. I was always upset after I'd done it, but I just really couldn't help it. It was like an illness.
Despite the effect her weight was having on her health, Hayley could not overcome her addiction.
At the time I felt angry, but really there was no one else to blame. I was the one that did it. I was the one that put the weight on. I knew the risks I was taking, and I just kept putting it on. Now I kept trying. I kept thinking, well, tomorrow is a new day and I'm going to stick to this. I need to be healthy. I need to be strong. But tomorrow never came.
Older and wiser, Hayley seems to understand the error of her ways. So she's trying a new approach.
I'm following a healthy regime, which I'm hoping to continue for the rest of my life. It's not going to stop when I reach goal weight. If I overeat, I get straight back to it the next minute, whereas before it was the next day. So if I cheated in the morning, I'd have a really bad day and then get back to it the day after. But now it's the next minute. I've done it, it's over, I can't do anything about it. But I can do something with this minute, and that is to get back to my normal regime.
Good on you, Hayley. That's the spirit.
I just have to look for a way in which I can become stronger than the addiction.
For Hayley, this time giving up is not an option.
I think if I were to go back again to overeating, I would lose hope, and then things would be pretty frightening.
We all know slow and steady is best, but why, oh why, is sticking to a plan so hard? And why is it that each time we get close to our goal weight, we tell ourselves that this time we can keep the weight off? Celebrity slimmer Josie Gibson is optimistic that she's endured her last ever yo-yo diet, but it's not come easy.
I would say I was large and unhappy this percentage of my life. Because I got fat when I was 6. So I tried to make out one time that, I was happy with my weight. I was happy being one of the big girls, but I wasn't. I always wanted to be slim.
Josie's most recent dieting yo-yo happened in the full glare of the media spotlight during 2012. She suffered months of abuse on social media and in the press as a result. Because she'd put on 4 stone, Josie was seen as fair game, and her partner Luke was also getting a hard time about her weight.
Poor Luke, he's going down a plumbing shop at work and they were all taking the piss out of him. Calling him the fatty fucker.
Getting the magazine out and showing all the people in the shop saying, oh, look, this is Luke's girlfriend. Picture of her running down the beach like... It wasn't very nice, no.
What did you say to her?
I love her.
I love her now. A good job I got a good personality, innit?
Yeah,
Cool, what are you about to part with?
Having met Luke when she was a size 12 and then gained weight, Josie was desperate to get slim again. But living with a struggling dieter isn't easy.
I've just filled my body with rubbish. And then I cut myself up about it, get all depressed. Then to curb my depression, I bloody eat again. So you're on a little vicious cycle. It's like you can't get out of it. And of course, the whole time you're actually addicted to what you're eating.
It was awful. I used to go and walk the dog over the park just to get out of the house, really, and I'd just go sit in the park for ages because sometimes it was almost unbearable to be with her. Like, really that bad. I was contemplating leaving a couple of times, but I kind of knew she was getting stressed out and stuff about it. And also, I'd seen the good side of her when she was happy and everything.
You slept in the van one night, didn't you?
Yeah, and on the bedroom floor, because I couldn't bear to sleep in the bed with her. She was so angry all the time.
It was awful. It wasn't smooth sailing.
And sometimes her other half was definitely not her better half. And we've all been there, haven't we?
Luke would come home with a pizza and like a bottle of wine and a great big bar of Galaxy like that and go, And so he's lucky he's got any teeth.
Yeah, it's not my fault I can eat what I want.
Now slimmer than she has ever been, Josie feels under more pressure than ever to avoid another devastating yo-yo. It's a daily battle.
Like you try and bring like rubbish home sometimes and I just don't have it, do I? Because why should I have it in the cupboards? Because it's not fair on me. When you bring your Mars milkshakes back and you put them in a cupboard, I think, oh, just have a little sip. And then you know what I'm like?
Whole thing's gone then.
Yeah.
You've got eyes bigger than your stomach, that's the other thing.
I didn't think I had.
Yeah, when you're in a restaurant, you're always like, oh yeah, I want a bit of that, and I want a bit of that, and then it all sort of comes and you can't eat it. Or...
I'm obsessive with food. I love it. It's love.
Even
If we have a roast dinner, I will have to eat I'll have to lick the plate. When I eat, I don't get, I got no like switch off button. I just don't get full up. It takes me ages for my brain to know that I'm actually stuffed. I know this sounds mental, but I purposely put a mirror in my dining room. So when I eat at the table, I can see myself eating, so I can see my reflection. Sometimes when I was losing the weight before, like if I got the urge to like really pig out on rubbish food, I'd go and look at myself in a bikini for 20 minutes. But I purposely keep that mirror there so I don't overindulge.
And did it work?
No.
The average woman loses her body weight 9 times during her lifetime. And over 1 million of us turn to slimming clubs for support to help us get thin. We go along every week, sometimes for years, hoping that by slimming with others, we can achieve our weight loss goals. Gina Bobbin's biggest ever diet success came at a slimming club, but it's not been plain sailing.
I did have a great amount of success with one group, but I cannot afford to go there anymore because you have to pay membership fees.
Feeling unable to go back down the slimming club route, Gina's been left battling her weight alone. She's the biggest she has ever been, and she would still like to be slimmer.
I'm not happy, but it fluctuates an awful lot. It goes tremendously, anything between 18 and 24 stone. At my lightest, I was 12 stone, which I'd like to be back at.
Gina was last 12 stone in her early 30s. Since then, she has gone up and down, ending up twice that at 24 stone.
That's me holding my sister's first child. And he's about 28 now, so that's about 28 years ago.
Over the years, Gina's tried everything in her desperation to get back to her dream weight.
I've tried all sorts of diets. Some where you eat eggs one day, meat another day, fruit another day, and orange and peanut. Yeah, I think that was one of the most wackiest ones I've ever done in my life. You'd eat oranges and then at the meal time and have the peanuts in between. I did it really because I was going to a friend's wedding, and that was before I was as big as I am. I just needed to lose a stone quickly, so I thought, well, I'll try that. But the thing is, I lost a stone and gained 2. And really, that's the trouble with fad diets. You lose it quickly, like you want, but then as soon as you returning to eating a normal, healthy diet, then the weight just goes straight back on. So you don't win anyway.
Gina knows how to win the battle against her weight.
I eat a lot smaller portions than I used to. Having 5 a day of fresh fruit and veg and lean meats, like fish and chicken.
But after years of fighting, she feels the odds are increasingly being stacked against her.
Yeah, good boy. I guess I'm just fed up with being overweight. I don't like it. I know where I should start, but I just can't be bothered of late. I'm just fed up.
Josie Gibson spent 21 years chasing her perfect weight, starting at just 6 years old.
I think the best thing ever about losing the weight is being able to go into a shop and know that there's something in there that fits you. When I was bigger, I used to have to shop literally all day just to find a pair of jeans that fit. People who are bigger will understand what it's like to go through a shopping experience with all your thin mates. They can pick up literally whatever they want. They're buying all these beautiful clothes, and you just feel like the outcast. What do you reckon of that?
It's lovely.
You reckon it's a bit short? At my biggest, I was a size 22, so I'd never want to admit to myself that I was actually that big. So I try and buy things with a load of stretching and try and squeeze it on, just so I didn't have to admit to myself how big I actually was.
She's finally got there, but the fear of going back is never far away.
To think about not being able to come into a shop and putting something like this on again is frightening. Bye!
Josie's managed to maintain her ideal figure for a year, and she's enjoying the rewards.
When I was 18 years old, my friends, my bestest friends, bought me a brilliant present, flying lesson, and amazing present, best present I've ever had. I couldn't go on it. It was too fat.
Now she's light enough to take to the skies, and she's also strong enough to rise above Luke's teasing.
I wanted to go.
Now it doesn't affect me, but when I was recovering, like withdrawing off the sugar, I wanted to kill you, didn't I? We've nearly split up over that. And people might think that's pathetic, but honestly, I can't. Now it don't really make me angry, but it really made me angry before. Am I the right weight?
Yeah, we got loads of spare left today, so yeah, you're looking good.
However well she's doing, Josie knows she can't take anything for granted.
I would give anything to just not have to worry about what I ate and just was slim. I'd give myself a wiggle room by about half a stone, but I mean, it's a lot of pressure. It's quite a bit of pressure, because if I was to put the weight back on now, everybody would be like, oh, I told you so. To think about going back to how I used to eat it would be like, say you're a heroin addict who's just got clean and then just decides to have a little bit of heroin again. It's just not, you just wouldn't do it, would you? And your life's going so well. I feel content within myself. I think they call it inner peace.
For now, it seems Josie has achieved what so many of us dream of, but it has meant changing pretty much her whole life. Have any of our other slimmers managed it? Hayley is still trying to avoid further health problems by getting her weight down for good. But a month since her last weigh-in, is her latest strategy paying off?
It says 299.6. And when I last weighed myself, I was 312, so that's almost a stone that I've lost. So that's very good. I'm pleased with that.
I bet you are. It just goes to show the slow and steady approach works. Gina hasn't lost any weight, but she's not gained either, and she is still living in hope.
Being realistic, maybe 16, 18 would be a nice size to be. From now on, I'm just going to take each day as it comes.
Gemma has also put yo-yo dieting behind her, for now, but for a very different reason from Gina.
A diet is just another diet. It's a fad. You're doing it for a little while, you lose weight, you think you're invincible, you eat what you want, you put it back on again. It's not gonna, unless you change your lifestyle, you're not gonna be a skinny person. And I've been a slimmer person, and it didn't make me happier. I still felt the same. And I enjoy food, so I eat food.
Claudia, though, like most of us, is aiming for a quick fix. She's lost 1.5 stone over 2 months.
I will put it back on. I'm not kidding myself. History has taught me that I will put it all back on. I think that starvation is what it takes for me to stay thin, and I can't starve myself forever. So yeah, I'll put it all back on. I know I will.